Hi, my name is Jack Buckley. At age 14, I decided to follow my dream by creating and releasing a feature film that was shown in theaters and inspired kids around the globe. There are many kids who waste their childhood on things that won't bring them a good life, but I believe in us getting out there and following our dreams while we still have a chance. Now is the time to create. Welcome to the Jack Buckley Show. Hello everybody, welcome to the first ever episode of the Jack Buckley Show. Today we're talking with Parker Donaldson, a videographer and photographer who's worked with names like Yes Theory, Red Bull, and NASCAR. Let's go talk to him. So let's get straight into it. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
All right, my name is Parker Donaldson. I am a videographer, photographer, content creator. I don't believe I fall into any sort of category. I kind of just like to do my own thing, ride my own wave, and just make content that I think will inspire other people and make other people want to create content for themselves. So,
yeah, definitely. So my first question is that you've worked with big names like Yes Theory, Red Bull, and NASCAR. So what's one of the most important things that you've learned from working with companies or creators like that?
Make yourself stand out first and foremost. Big companies aren't going to hire you just to get the job done. You know, they want to see that flair. They want to add value to not only their company, but their social media page, whatever it may be. Flair is a big word that I use kind of in my day-to-day vocabulary. Find one thing that you are interested in, you believe in strongly, and put that into your work. So for me, my whole headspace, my mindset, you could say, is jaw-dropping, inspiring, emotional content. That's what I love to make. So that's my value. That's, your value can't really be, I'll get this project turned around and get to you the next day, which I do that, but I don't base my production or my company on that anybody can get their projects done within a day or two. The value and flair, I would say is the two things big companies look for when they're hiring somebody.
Understood. And in general, so what's your best piece of advice for just working with clients in general?
Communication, one. There's been a lot of projects I've been working on where I'll probably work 20 hours on a video and then send it to them as kind of a first draft, and they'll be like, whoa, this is not anything I was looking for. So definitely open communication throughout the entire project is great. I've had an Instagram post a couple days ago, and I said in that post, I treat my clients as family members. So if I was talking to my own mom or dad or my brother or my sister, that's the same way I talk to my clients. If we're not on the same wavelength, on the same page, we don't have open communication, projects could get sour, relationships could get sour. So always open communication. Definitely
understand that. And so, you have the clients. So how do you land those clients, especially your more well-known clientele?
So I think I did a YouTube video on this a couple weeks ago, how to land clients. And that's probably the number one question I get. And I also asked other people when I first got started, how do I get these big name clients or just clients in general, right? It's so hard in the freelance industry. My first piece of advice would be, again, I'll just restate this a little bit, is create your own flair, create something that is only you do. So the reason why Sam Colder got big was because he used that orange and teal color preset LUT in all of his videos, and people just were like, oh wow, because it's a color science. This is science. Your eyes are attracted to those two colors. They complement each other very well. Same thing with Johnny FPV. He's a drone pilot. He does some crazy immersive videos. So just find something that you enjoy doing in your videos or your photos or whatever. It's art in general, right? Find something that sets you apart from somebody else. So whether that be your own transition or your own preset, where it may be, and that's what clients are going to see that and be like, whoa, I want that. I want that. So I had when I first started out, I really loved using clarity in my photos. It just gave it a super raw feel to it. And a lot of companies like that. And a lot of people didn't like that, but a lot of other companies did like that. And so the companies that liked it hit me up like, hey, can we do these photos like this? Can we do this? I'm like, yeah, sure. So that's what I was kind of known for when I first started out. And then I started dabbling with a couple of little things, creating my own presets, my own transitions, whatever it may be. And companies saw. So here's the thing. I'll just put it in layman's terms. You're basically selling your creativity, right? So personally, I don't even know what I'm known for at this point. People just say like, hey, can we do videos like this? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I think I'm more of like I don't know, free flowing, run and gun, action packed, emotional video. I think that's what I'm kind of known for. But you could ask 10 other people and they'll be like, no, probably not. Probably running over time here. But the original question was how to land clients. That'd be my first piece of advice, would be to make yourself known for something, because some company is going to want that.
Yeah, definitely. So now, in terms of content creation, what's your favorite type of that to make?
So I'll give you a little backstory real quick. I first started out with short films. That's where first thing I ever did with the video camera was short films. And that was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of pre-production, post-production, etc. And I just wanted to get one project done and then on to the next one, right? I kind of get dried up easily. So if I'm working on a music video for 30 days, at the end of those 30 days, I'm just like, come on. But if I get a music video and I'm doing it for a day or two and it turns out amazing, I'm excited, I'm pumped up, I want to do it again. So I try to keep my projects short. And for that reason, I love to do travel videos. So I just went to Minnesota and I just kind of record a few snippets here and there, some cool angles. And then when I get back to edit, I'll probably edit it for like a day, maybe 2 days. And I put it out. So I'm a big overthinker. So if I don't put it out within the first 2 days or 3 days after done editing it, I go back to it and start messing with it and I just don't like it. And I'm never posting it, right? So I try to keep it short. So for that reason, probably adventure videos or just quick action-packed videos, just again, jaw-dropping content, whether that be racing in Mexico, flying out of a helicopter, going 100-something miles an hour, or whether that be a super slow, emotionally packed music video. So anything that I know that will inspire others to create art in general, that's the content I want to be a part of.
So you take those videos that really inspire you, right? So is there a different type of video that you like to edit as opposed to like shooting?
I did a editing contest. It was Zachary Moxley, Down to Film on Instagram. He had an editing contest, and it was a Red Bull snowboarding video. And that was a lot of fun to edit. That was one of the first projects I really could sit down and edit. Pour my heart out into the video and be super proud of it, right? And Zach DM'd me like, dude, this is incredible video. I didn't win or anything, which was okay. There were some big guys that were in the. I've been doing it for a lot longer than I have, which is not an excuse. But I was super proud of that. So definitely, if I had to sit down, if I wasn't allowed to edit or shoot the video and I just had to strictly edit it, it would probably be action-packed, adventurous videos, because I can interject music, sound effects, transitions very easily in those. And so, but I'll tell you honestly, is that I would much rather go out and shoot the video and not have to worry about editing. I don't hate editing. I don't dislike it. I mean, I kind of dislike it a little bit if it takes too long, like I said before, but I just want to go out and travel, go shoot videos, have fun with people, whether that be down in Mexico or California or overseas, whatever it may be. Just going out there and venture and being a part of a story to tell or a memory to share in the future. That's what I want to be. Because for me, sitting down and editing a video isn't a memory I'm going to share with my kids in 15, 20 years,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I totally understand that. So you started making videos in high school, right?
Yes.
Okay,
freshman year.
Yeah. So what are some of those things that you wish you knew when you were starting out back then?
Oh boy. Let's see here. One thing that I got held up on, even in the last probably the first 3, 4, 5 years of my video career, and I'm going on year 8 now, is don't get hung up on what people think of your videos. So for me, I always would edit the video, show a couple people, close friends, family, whatever it may be, and they'll give me some feedback, which I'll, back then I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna change this, and I put it out, and people are like, yo, I don't like this part, and that was the part that someone told me to change. So for me, I wish I knew that just stick to your guns, stick to your creative mindset. Once you edit the video your way, put it out, because people are gonna like what you do, because you're doing it your way, and they're gonna enjoy it much more than if you edit a video the way someone else wants you to edit the video, right? So that mindset before limited me to what I could do with my creativity. But after I got over that, got over myself, got over all these other people, and just did it my way, I felt more passion in my projects, more, I guess you could say, completion. I felt completed when I did these projects, and I just had more fun with it in general.
Yeah, definitely. So, when someone's starting out in videography, in like high school or something like that, what would be your biggest tip for starting out in school?
Just get your hands on any camera you can. Get your hands on any editing software you can. So before I even started in video production or videography, I had a YouTube channel with my friends, and I edited my videos with Windows Movie Maker, right? Just the free software on any Windows laptop. So, obviously I'd recommend getting Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere or DaVinci, whatever it may be. The first software I ever used was Final Cut Pro, and I loved it. I didn't want to move from it. That was my favorite software. And the next year when I took another videography class, which was actually a bad idea. It was the worst class ever. They forced me to change to Adobe Premiere, and I was like, oh, come on, I really love Final Cut. But then they forced me to change to Adobe Premiere, and I had the time of my life with Adobe Premiere. It took me about a year to kind of get things going with it. And even 6, 7, 8 years on the road, I'm still learning new things with the program every single day. So it's a steep learning curve, but it's worth it. So, I'll just reiterate it a little bit. Camera time, it's with anything you do. I know right now I'm learning how to fly FPV drones, and I don't have a full setup yet, but I have a radio transmitter and I have a video game on my computer. And I just want to get stick time. That's what they call it, stick time, on the controller. So just put in the hours, mess around with camera settings, editing, whatever it may be, just explore. It's kind of like I used to rebuild dirt bikes in my garage, and no one taught me how to do this. My dad didn't teach me, none of my family members taught me. I really just took apart the whole dirt bike or the whole motorcycle, took it all apart, and then figured out how to put it back together. I may not even know the names of certain parts, but I know what they do. So it's kind of like that. It's, mess with their settings. I have a Sony A7 III that I bought in January, and up until a couple weeks ago, I really didn't know what direction I wanted to take the camera with, what kind of look I was going for, because I don't want to copy someone else. You can go on YouTube and be like, hey, best settings for video, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to do that really, because that's copying somebody else, and you can only get so far by copying someone else. So it took me a couple months, almost 6 months, to figure out the settings that I personally enjoy and I like to see out of my videos. So again, just get on that camera, shoot as many videos as you can, mess around with as many settings as you can, and just, dissect it, I guess you could say.
Definitely, experience is the best type of learning for sure.
100%.
So your videos always look really professional. So is there any particular way you get that look, and how much does equipment play into that?
You can, to a certain extent, there is a ceiling to how professional your videos can be with the equipment you have. So I have my ADD sitting on the floor right here. I can say confidently that I can go out and shoot a interview, 10-minute interview, and I can charge $2,000 for it with the Canon ADD, and that camera costs $500, right? A lot of, especially in the video, we'll stick to the video industry right now, video and photo industry, lighting plays a very important part. And oftentimes it's very overlooked by people just getting into it because they don't know how important it is. If I lined up the Sony camera in crappy lighting, same interview, versus the Canon 80D or 70D with very good lighting, I promise you that the Canon 80D is going to look much better than the Sony. And that's the Sony costs 4 times more than the Canon. So it's all about the behind the scenes. So that's why I love being behind the cameras, because the spotlight isn't on me, the spotlight's on somebody else. And I know all the little things, little tricks to get the right shot, but lighting is an important part. So you can survive. I mean, I survived for 7 years off the Canon 80D, and that's how I got big clients. Even Red Bull, NASCAR, everything was shot on the 80D. So don't make the excuse of not having amazing equipment stop you from creating content. So a big thing I tell my clients is, hey, if I send them an invoice or a budget sheet or whatever it may be for an upcoming project, I'm like, hey, this is what I'm budgeting the video for. If it's too much, let me know. The last thing I want to do is have money hinder creativity. So if you don't have enough money to pay for this, let's work something out. Whether that be we'll lower the time into my time into the project. So maybe it might not turn out as great, but you're going to save some money. Or we can do a little bit of trade. If they're offering a service, I'll take the service in exchange for a video, whatever it may be. But the last thing I want to do is have content be halted in creation because a lack of funds or lack of resources, right? So don't make that an excuse. Go out and make as much content as you can with what you have.
Definitely, yeah. So you also, in June of 2020, you made a series on your Instagram called #CreateInspire30, where you posted a picture or a video every day with an inspirational story or caption behind it. So what did you learn from that series? Like, what are the biggest takeaways?
My biggest takeaways from the Create Inspire 30 series was life's not all business. It is okay to take a break, take a breather, smell the roses, and have fun, enjoy yourself. For me, I was creating too much. I was creating too much client work, and I wasn't focusing on myself and why videography, photography made me happy, and why I had a passion in it in the first place. Why I even started this whole thing in the first place. And at the end of those 30 days, I realized, wow, I really do have so much fun creating content for my channel or for my Instagram. Why don't I do this more? And that's originally why, in hindsight, that was why I started it. I was looking for that again, right? That's what I started with. And then I migrated into client work, and then I got bored of client work and I wanted to do more stuff for myself. So key takeaway, like I said before, was stop, smell the roses, enjoy yourself, and make the content that makes you happy, that makes you smile when you're editing. And money will come and go as long as you still have that passion for what you do. You'll never work a day in your life.
Definitely, yeah. And you also aren't limited just to cinematography, so you're also a very gifted photographer. So
Thank you.
What would you say sets photography apart from filmmaking the most for you, and which medium do you prefer more to express yourself?
So I am originally a videographer, and then I got into photography after one of my buddies said, hey, you're so good at videography, you want to do photography? So I kind of went into photography, and I had about a year and a half where I focused just on photography, and I actually let videography fall into the shadows. But personally, I love creating videos a little more than photos, just because I feel like I have a little more room to wiggle in a sense of my creativity versus other people's creativity. So I have a little bit bigger of an avenue to go down where I can mess with these transitions or these colors, what it may be. I know the video realm a little bit more than the photo realm. However, photography personally is if I had to choose, if a company came to me and said, hey, we want to do either a 30-second video commercial for or an ad for a clothing, or 30 pictures, what would you want to do? I'd be like, 30 pictures, because it takes me an hour to edit 30 pictures versus a couple hours or a day to edit a video. So again, for me, I'm all about challenging myself. So some days, if I'm too busy, I'll select the photo route because it's less time sensitive or less tedious. But I always love challenging myself. So some days I'll pick video, and like video takes a lot longer for me to do, but in the end, I'm more proud of videos and photos. I think the thing that separates them the most is, again, for me personally, I know more about video than I do about photo. I'm always asking people, hey, how do you create this photo? How did you do this effect? Blah, 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 blah. Versus I don't really ask a lot of people about video stuff, because it's not like an ego thing. It's not necessarily like, I know everything about video. No, it's not really like that, except I don't care enough at my current stance in my video career to learn more about video. I kind of want to learn more about photo, because I'm not educated as much as I am in video as I am in photo, or as other way around. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I think, does that answer your question?
Yes. Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
Okay, cool.
So what do you love most about client work as opposed to personal content creation for yourself?
Client work opens up a lot of doors, a lot of opportunity to go travel places I'd never been before. So before I turned 21, I wanted to hold the title of traveling to different countries of the world and get paid for it, right? Get paid to do video work or photo work. And right before my birthday last December, in November, I traveled down to Mexico, which isn't that far, obviously, but I've actually never been to Mexico, like driven down through Mexico before. So, and technically it's another country. So I checked that off my list, but I drove down to Mexico and I was involved in filming a bunch of Baja races, off-road races, crazy stuff. And that's what I love about client work, is that it'll lead you to crazy adventures you never thought of. So it obviously depends on what company, but for this company that I was doing it for, racing teams tend to be a little more run and gun, go do crazy things. So that led me to fly in private jets to Lake Havasu, to California, just crazy adventures like that. I do love that part about client work. Personal work, sometimes personal work can feel a little lonely at some points, especially with COVID going on and everything. I'm limited to the friends I can hang out with and go on adventure with, et cetera, et cetera. But with personal work, I feel like I do have a little more creative control. Obviously some clients, they'll say, hey, we want this video, this photo to represent exactly what this video photo has. We want to copy it. Like, okay, cool. But some clients, dime a dozen, will say, hey, you have full creative control over this project. Go at it. That's what I love. That if a company says that, then that mimics my personal videos and photos. So I do strive for my client work to be, for me to have the whole creative control aspect with it. But sometimes they're just like, hey, we want to keep it professional. We want to keep it this way. We want to copy this person or copy your old videos. Just fine. I'll do it if it pays enough. But yeah, so it just kind of depends. For me, it's a good balance between both. I don't have a preference between client work and personal work, as long as it leads me down an adventure that I've never gone through in my life. So
yeah, definitely. And so between all the videos you've shot, this might be a hard question, but what's the favorite video you've made of all time?
Oh man, personal or client or both?
Any.
Oh man. Well, there are some unreleased stuff coming out later this year. It'll be all over my page. I'll promote it really well. Those videos were a lot of fun to make. But for videos that were out currently, oh man, I gotta say, maybe the Yes Theory video that they posted on their Instagram. It wasn't a great video. It wasn't a milestone in my career. The video didn't wow me in any sort of way. But just being a part of that realm, like just being in the moment with those people when we were shooting that video, that was before I even knew Yes Theory was going to post it on their Instagram, which I'll talk about in a second. But just being in the moment with those people, having fun, dancing on top of a mountain in LA, just something that I never thought I would ever happen in my life. I never thought I was gonna. First of all, I never thought I was gonna live in LA. Second off, I never thought I was gonna be having all this fun with all these amazing people on a mountaintop in LA, and so that was probably one of the funnest videos to be a part of. And the next morning after I sent the video over to the person who had me film it, I got a message from them saying, hey, Yes Theory's interested in posting this video on their Instagram. Are you okay with that? I was like, yeah, dude, it's your video. Like, you can give it to them if you want. You already paid me for it, whatever. And I woke up that next morning and I saw that they posted my video on their Instagram for their 4 million subscriber thank you video. And for people who don't know me very well, Yes Theory has a huge influence in my life. So when I first met Amar and Thomas and all the guys there, I was like in tears trying to tell them my story about how much they influenced my life. And they're like, hey, can we give you a hug, blah, blah, like they're super nice. And so that video alone just held a lot of influence in my life. And I was super excited that they posted it on their Instagram. And I don't really care about the clout. I don't really care about the numbers. It was just the thoughtfulness of them remembering my story and being kind enough to post that video on their Instagram. I just thought that was a super cool moment. I remember I was living with Joseph Allen at that time, and I showed it to him. He's like, dude, you're shaking. I'm like, what? And my hands were like this. When I woke up, I was so happy. That was just one of the happiest moments of my life. So, the video aspect, it wasn't a great video of mine. I didn't put a crazy amount of time into it. Again, it wasn't a milestone, but it was just the overall adventure in that video, the experience I had making the video, the people I was with, that had been the most, the most fun I've had in a while for that video. So
as you started out on YouTube with your channel, Parker Donaldson, what are you most excited for on that journey to come?
I'm excited to, actually, I'm really excited to, once it grows a little bit more, I'm excited to hear the requests people kind of bring in the comments and whatnot, because I love helping people. Again, I love creating and inspiring other people, or creating inspiring content that inspires other people to create. And so I'm very excited to hear the requests people have from, like, whether it be how-tos, tutorials on certain effects, transitions, whatever it may be, editing, and also the feedback I get on my adventure videos and whatnot. So I'm just excited to kind of grow, not just a fan base, but a community, a family. Like I said before, with all my clients, I treat all my clients like family members, and I'll do the exact same with people who follow me on my YouTube channel, and I'm here to provide value to not only your life, but people who respond, give me feedback and request videos, they also provide value for me as well. So it goes both ways. So I'm just excited to create more content for myself, really, is what it kind of boils down to. And I'm having a lot of fun with client work, but at the same time, I kind of miss creating content for myself and other people. So yeah, that's what I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah, definitely. That totally makes sense. Really excited to see where you go with that. So, you know, as you are shooting over the years, you know, you shoot at a bunch of different locations. So, what's your favorite location you've ever shot at?
Favorite location I've ever shot a video or photos at probably has to be, oh man, I want to say it's a close call between, I mean, obviously, when I first moved to LA, Venice Beach was, you know, it's kind of weird to see. I used to play Grand Theft Auto when I was a kid, and it was kind of weird to see, like, whoa, I used to play a video game where I would hang out at this location all the time. And so the skate park at Venice Beach was probably a really cool location. It was a really cool location for me to shoot at. But a close second would probably be down in Mexico, down in Puerto Penasco. It's a lot of fun hanging out with all these trophy truck drivers and race car drivers. And I've never been to Mexico like that before. So we had that resort and all this kind of cool stuff. So those are probably my top two locations. The one that stands out to me probably the most is Lake Havasu. I went up there for just kind of a cool video shoot with a client. It wasn't really client work. It was just kind of like, hey, you want to come up here for fun? And we drove up there with some Can-Am off-road vehicles, and we were racing helicopters and trophy trucks and, you know, chicks in bikinis and all the flashy stuff you see. But the location was cool because we were in the sand dunes with helicopters flying above us, like 20 feet above us, and cars going 100 miles an hour in the sand. So that was a really fun location to shoot at.
Yeah, definitely. So overall, what would you tell aspiring creators who are looking to get into your kind of business?
Ooh, aspiring creators looking to get into the freelance world. My advice to them, my initial advice to them would be a couple things. One, create as much content as you can with what you have. You know, don't get down on yourself because you can't afford the latest and greatest equipment. That got to me when I was younger, and I stopped creating content for a little while because I didn't have great equipment. But I realized, hey, you know, like I said before, earlier in the interview, perfect what you can with the equipment you have. So get as good as you possibly can with the equipment you have. And once you hit that ceiling, then it's maybe time to look for an upgrade. Two, don't be worried about what other people say about your content. If you have all this passion and all this enjoyment in making videos and content, and you love what you make, keep making it. You know, your job isn't to make other people happy. You're never gonna make every single person on this earth happy. There's always gonna be haters. There's always gonna be people who be like, hey, you could have done this better. Take those, you know, take what they say as constructive criticism. You know, it's okay to take constructive criticism, but don't focus on the, hey, this was a bad video, blah, 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 blah. You know, countless times I've had DMs, people saying, hey, you did this transition wrong. I'm like, no, actually I didn't. I made it my way. That transition, I made it the way I wanted to make it, and I had a lot of fun. I thought that was a cool transition, you know? Thank you for your constructive criticism, you know? So those are probably the big points that I'd say to aspiring creators. Again, overall, have fun with it. If you're not passionate about it, if you're not having fun, if you're not enjoying yourself, there's no point in doing it. You know, for me, this isn't work for me. It's a passion. I don't feel like I'm ever working, really. I'm always having a lot of fun. I'm always trying to be as creative as I can, you know, and if it boils down to that, if that's not, if you're not feeling it, it's not the field you want to be in, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So are there any influences that you've had in your career that's led you to the point you are today?
Oh man, I really look up to, I'll rephrase the question. My biggest influences in life when it comes to content creation or freelance work, whatever it may be, is there's kind of two that stand out to me the most. One, obviously, Yes Theory. I'm 21 years old, and I was bullied up until, like, heavily bullied until I was up until 18 years old. Until I got to college, you know, I was bullied because I played golf. You know, golf's not a real sport, this and that. And I was one of the best in my state, and I was still bullied for it, you know. That, you know, video, you know, kind of being a nerd on my computer, you know, I used to play video games 24/7. I used to build Minecraft servers. I used to do all this cool stuff that considered me a nerd or a geek, and I was bullied for it, you know. I was always super skinny, and so I have big ears, you know. Anything people can make fun of me about, I was always bullied. And because of Yes Theory, they got me out of my comfort zone and got me to do what I love to do, which is making videos, playing golf, playing video games, making Minecraft servers, whatever it may be. It is okay to do things you love to do. Don't, and they taught me, just to be proud of who I was and proud that I could be myself, et cetera, et cetera. So, as kids growing up, and I'll give you some advice for kids that are kind of getting bullied for doing what they love to do, stick with it. Because the kids who bullied me when I was younger are coming back to me saying, hey, how are you so successful? Hey, how are you traveling the world having so much fun? Hey, this and that. They are so jealous of me now. And I don't do it to make them jealous. I do it because I love to do what I love to do. They're kind of just realizing, wow, I was in the wrong. I shouldn't have bullied this kid. I feel bad. I'm sorry. And so if you're getting bullied about doing things you love to do, stick with it. I promise it's worth it. And yes, theory has made a big influence on my life with that aspect. In the video aspect, in the video world, Matt Como has to be one of my biggest influencers. The way he innovates the game, innovates the videography, the way he figures out how to do these crazy effects. He doesn't copy anybody. He's just so innovative, not only in his content creation, but also the way he treats people. He treats people with respect. He treats people with love and kindness. And I feel like him and I have similar mindsets. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to meet with him and talk to him in LA because he's very good friends with the Studio. I was trying to set up a meeting with him just to talk about life, but unfortunately never happened. So one day I'm hoping I can talk to him. Just in life and videography, Matt Como is just killing it in the game right now, and I just look up to him so much.
So finally, if someone has a dream or a passion, where should they start?
Wow, I hate to be cliche when I say this, but just do it. A lot of people come to me and like, hey, I want to be successful. I want to be great. I want to be the best. I want to do this and that. And it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to do something about it. So for me, recently I wanted this goal to push my body to the limit. I wanted to see how big I could get, how shredded I could get, how I can improve my physique to the limit. I wanted to hit that limit to see how far I can push my body. And I didn't know where to start. Obviously I've kind of been working out here and there, but I said, hey, I'm going to get up at 4 a.m. every day and go to the gym. That's what I've been doing. I've been getting up at 4 a.m. I'll be getting in the gym by 4:30, get out of the gym by 6:30. And that's how I start my day. And so I just did it. It may not be the healthiest option for someone like me, but I just did it, So I'll give another example. If you're a videographer, a photographer, and you're like, hey, I want to make a living at this. I want it to be my full-time job, but where do I start? I don't know where to start. Start creating content, whether that be on your YouTube channel, your Instagram, your website, Facebook, any platform. Just make content. And the more content you make, the more people are going to see you. The more content you make, the more confidence you're going to have in your work. The more content you make, the more practice you're going to have, and your content's going to get better. So just make content. Just for a general piece of advice for anybody looking to chase a dream or chase a career, don't be overwhelmed with all the steps you're gonna have to take to reach that, right? Take it one step at a time. So for me, I want to start a media company that every single piece of media that comes out of it is jaw-dropping, inspiring, innovative, and creative, whatever it may be, just kind of like Red Bull Media House, except on a whole nother level. Now, if I be like, oh wow, it's gonna take so much work, I gotta hire all these editors, all these videographers, and all these accountants, and all that will overwhelm me. But for me, I'm gonna focus on one thing at a time. I'm gonna focus on one step at a time. So the step that I'm taking right now is adding first-person view FPV drones to my gear bag, right? So adding that experience, that skill set to my own life, so I can add that to my personal video list, whatever. So I can make videos with FPV drones. So I can add FPV drones to my client list, like my client work list. So one step at a time, right? Don't get overwhelmed, one step at a time.